The morning sun filtered through the thick pine trees as Ryan checked his fishing gear one more time. His 6-year-old daughter Lily was still fast asleep in their tent, her small face peaceful under the warm sleeping bag. This weekend camping trip was exactly what they both needed after another crazy week of board meetings and school events. Ryan had built his tech company from nothing, working 18-hour days for years. But after losing his wife 3 years ago, everything changed. Money meant nothing if he couldn't spend time with the people who mattered most. Now every weekend belonged to Lily, whether she wanted to go fishing, hiking, or just build blanket forts in their living room. He quietly unzipped the tent and stepped outside. The Oregon forest was beautiful this time of year, with morning mist still hanging between the tall trees. Their campsite was perfect, far enough from other campers to feel private, but close enough to the main trail if they needed help. Lily stirred inside the tent. "Daddy, where are you going?" "Just checking the area, sweetheart." "Go back to sleep. We'll make pancakes when you wake up." "The ones with chocolate chips?" Ryan smiled. "Of course. Now sleep a little more." He grabbed his water bottle and decided to scout ahead for a good fishing spot. The stream they'd seen yesterday looked promising, but he wanted to find a quieter section where Lily could practice casting, without getting her line tangled in branches. Walking deeper into the forest, Ryan felt his stress melting away. No phone calls, no emails, no people asking for money or partnerships. Just him, the trees, and the sound of his boots on the forest floor. This was what life should be about. After walking for about 20 minutes, he heard running water ahead. Perfect. But as he got closer, he heard something else that made him stop dead in his tracks. Was that a voice? Ryan stood perfectly still and listened. There it was again. Definitely a human voice, and it sounded distressed. His heart started beating faster. They were miles from the nearest road, and he hadn't seen another camper since yesterday afternoon. Following the sound, he pushed through a thick section of bushes and emerged into a small clearing. What he saw there made his blood run cold. A young woman was sitting against a large pine tree, and she was clearly in trouble. Her wrists appeared to be secured behind the tree, and her clothes were dirty and torn. She looked exhausted and scared. When she saw him, her eyes went wide with fear. "Please," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "Please help me." Ryan's mind raced. This wasn't someone who'd gotten lost hiking. Someone had done this to her on purpose. He pulled out his phone immediately. No signal, of course. They were too deep in the woods. "Hey, it's okay," he said softly, staying a few feet away so he wouldn't scare her more. "My name is Ryan. I'm going to help you, all right? Are you hurt?" The woman started crying with relief. I thought no one would find me out here. You're safe now. What's your name?" "Maya," she managed to say between sobs. "Maya Johnson. I'm a photographer. I was scouting locations for a wedding shoot when they grabbed me." Ryan carefully moved closer. He could see now that her hands were secured with zip ties around the tree. Her ankles were free, which was probably why she could make noise to call for help. She had been here long enough that her lips were dry and cracked. "How long have you been here, Maya?" 3 days, I think. Maybe more. It's hard to tell. 3 days without proper food or water. Ryan felt anger building in his chest. What kind of monsters would do this to someone? "Do you know who did this to you?" Maya shook her head. 2 men. They wore masks. They kept asking about my family, about money. I told them my family doesn't have money, but they didn't believe me. Ryan knelt down next to her, being careful not to make any sudden movements. "I need to cut these ties, okay? I have a knife in my backpack." "You're not with them?" Maya asked, fresh tears streaming down her face. "No, Maya. I'm here with my daughter. We're camping about 20 minutes that way. I was looking for a fishing spot when I heard you." Relief flooded Maya's face. "Thank God. I kept praying someone would come." Ryan carefully cut through the zip ties with his camping knife. Maya's wrists were red and raw where the plastic had cut into her skin. As soon as her hands were free, she tried to stand up but immediately stumbled. "Easy there." Ryan caught her arm gently. "You've been sitting for days. Take it slow." He pulled out his water bottle and handed it to her. Maya drank greedily, water spilling down her chin. "Small sips," Ryan advised. "Too much too fast will make you sick." "Thank you," Maya gasped. "I can't believe you found me." Ryan took off his jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. She was shivering even though the morning was warm. "Maya, I need to ask you something important. Do you know if those men are coming back?" Maya nodded, fear returning to her eyes. They said they'd be back today. They went to contact my family for ransom money. But my family, we're not close. They disowned me years ago when I became a photographer instead of joining the family business. What kind of business? Real estate. My father owns several companies on the East Coast. I guess these guys did their research but didn't know we haven't spoken in 5 years. Ryan helped Maya to her feet slowly. She was wobbly but determined to move. We need to get out of here before they come back, Ryan said. Can you walk? I think so. My legs feel like jelly, but I can try. Here's what we're going to do. My campsite isn't far. My daughter is there, sleeping in our tent. I have a satellite emergency beacon in my gear. I can call for help from there. Maya nodded eagerly. Okay, let's go. Ryan supported Maya's arm as they started walking back toward his campsite. She was weak, but she was a fighter. Every few steps she'd pause to catch her breath or steady herself against a tree. Tell me about your daughter, Maya said as they walked. How old is she? Lily just turned 6. She's my whole world. Is her mother camping with you? Ryan's expression grew sad. No, my wife died 3 years ago. I'm sorry, Maya said softly. That must be so hard. It was. But Lily keeps me going. She's the strongest person I know. As they got closer to the campsite, Ryan started thinking about what would happen next. The police would need to be called. Maya would need medical attention. And somewhere out there, 2 dangerous men were planning to come back to that tree. Almost there, Ryan encouraged as Maya stumbled again. You're doing great. When they reached the campsite, Lily was sitting outside the tent in her pajamas, looking confused and worried. Daddy? Who's this lady? Why does she look so sad? Ryan knelt down to his daughter's eye level. Lily, this is Maya. She got lost in the woods and she's hurt. We're going to help her, okay? Lily nodded seriously and walked over to Maya. Hi, Maya. Do you want some water? Daddy always says water makes everything better. Despite everything she'd been through, Maya smiled. Hi, Lily. Water sounds perfect. As Ryan reached for his emergency beacon, he knew this was just the beginning of a much bigger story. Ryan's hands shook slightly as he activated the emergency beacon. Within minutes, his device was connected to emergency services, and he was explaining the situation to a dispatcher in Portland. Sir, we're sending a helicopter to your location immediately, the dispatcher said. Can you confirm the victim needs medical attention? Yes, she's been without food and water for 3 days. She's weak but conscious. And the perpetrators? Ryan looked at Maya, who was sitting on a camping chair, sipping water slowly while Lily chatted with her about her stuffed animals. Unknown location, but they're expected to return today, Ryan said quietly into the device. Understood. Stay where you are. Help is coming. The next 2 hours felt like the longest of Ryan's life. Maya drifted in and out of sleep, exhausted from her ordeal. Lily, with the innocent kindness only children possess, had appointed herself as Maya's caretaker. She brought her crackers, shared her favorite blanket, and even offered to let Maya hold her beloved teddy bear. Mr. Bear always makes me feel better when I'm scared, Lily explained seriously. Maya's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, sweetie. He's very comforting. When the helicopter finally arrived, the sound echoed through the forest like thunder. The paramedics immediately took charge, checking Maya's vital signs and starting an IV for dehydration. Ma'am, we're going to take you to Portland General Hospital, one paramedic explained. You're going to be fine, but we need to run some tests. As they prepared to load Maya onto the stretcher, she grabbed Ryan's hand. Thank you, she whispered. I don't know how to repay you. You don't need to repay anything, Ryan said firmly. Just focus on getting better. Will I see you again? Ryan glanced at Lily, who was watching everything with wide, concerned eyes. Of course. We'll come visit once you're settled. 2 days later, Ryan and Lily walked through the corridors of Portland General Hospital. Lily carried a small bouquet of wildflowers they'd picked that morning, and Ryan had a stack of books he thought Maya might enjoy. They found Maya in a private room, looking much better than she had in the forest. Her color had returned, and she was sitting up in bed, though she still looked tired. Maya, Lily exclaimed, running over to the bed. We brought you flowers. Oh, Lily, they're beautiful, Maya said, her face lighting up for the first time since they'd met her. Thank you so much. Daddy said you like books, so we brought these too, Lily announced, climbing onto the chair next to Maya's bed. How are you feeling? Ryan asked, pulling up another chair. Much better. The doctors say I'll be fine. Dehydration, some minor cuts and bruises, but nothing permanent. Maya's expression grew serious. The police caught those men this morning. They came back looking for me and found the Forest Service instead. Good, Ryan said simply. They won't hurt anyone else now. Over the next week, Ryan and Lily visited Maya every day. It started as concern for her recovery but quickly became something more. Genuine friendship. Maya had no visitors except them. When Ryan asked about her family, Maya's face would close off. Like I told you in the forest, we're not close, she said one afternoon. When I chose photography over the family business, my father said I was throwing away my life. We haven't spoken in 5 years. That's their loss, Ryan said quietly. You seem pretty amazing to me. Lily, who had been coloring at the small table in Maya's room, looked up. Maya, when you get out of the hospital, where will you live? Maya's face grew uncertain. I'm not sure yet, sweetie. My apartment lease ended while I was away. I'll figure something out. Ryan frowned. He'd been wondering about Maya's living situation, but hadn't wanted to pry. What about work? You mentioned you're a photographer, freelance. I was just starting to build a client base. The wedding I was scouting for was going to be my biggest job yet. Maya sighed. I guess I'll have to start over. That evening, after Lily was asleep, Ryan sat in his home office staring at his computer screen. He'd done some research on Maya's situation, and what he'd found bothered him. Her medical bills were already mounting. Without family support or steady income, she'd be facing financial ruin on top of everything else she'd been through. Ryan made some phone calls. By morning, he'd quietly arranged for Maya's medical bills to be covered by his foundation, a charity he'd started 3 years ago, but never talked about publicly. The hospital would simply tell Maya that her bills had been covered by a victim's assistance program. When Maya was discharged a week later, Ryan and Lily were there to pick her up. I arranged a hotel for you, Ryan said as they drove through the city, until you figure out your next steps. Ryan, I can't let you pay for... It's not up for discussion, Ryan interrupted gently. You need time to recover and plan your next move. The hotel is already paid for a month. Maya was quiet for a long moment. Why are you doing all this for me? You don't even know me. From the back seat, Lily piped up. Because Daddy says when someone needs help, you help them. That's what good people do. Lily's pretty smart for a 6-year-old, Ryan said with a smile. Over the next few weeks, Ryan continued visiting Maya at the hotel. Sometimes he brought Lily. Sometimes he came alone. They talked about everything. Her dreams of building a photography business, his experience raising Lily alone, their favorite books and movies. Maya began to relax around them. Her smiles came easier and she laughed at Lily's silly jokes. She was healing, not just physically but emotionally. One afternoon, while Lily was playing in the hotel's small garden, Maya and Ryan sat on a bench watching her. I got the strangest call from the hospital yesterday, Maya said. They said all my medical bills were covered by some victim assistance program. But when I called the program directly, they said they don't usually cover private rooms or extended stays. Ryan kept his expression neutral. That's good news though, right? It's amazing news. I just can't help wondering. Maya looked at him sideways. Ryan, how exactly do you make a living? You never seem to work, but you have that nice house. You're always available to visit. I own a tech company, Ryan said simply. It pretty much runs itself these days. What kind of tech company? We make software for hospitals. Medical records, patient management systems, that sort of thing. Maya nodded, but Ryan could tell she was still curious. He'd have to be more careful. The last thing he wanted was for Maya to feel like charity, or to discover how much money he actually had. That evening, as they were leaving the hotel, Lily tugged on Maya's hand. Maya, I have an idea, Lily announced. You should come live with us. Daddy's house is really big and I get lonely sometimes. Maya looked startled. Oh, sweetie, that's very kind, but... Actually, Ryan said slowly, an idea forming in his mind. What if I offered you a job instead? What kind of job? Lily needs help with her art projects for school. And honestly, she could use more creative influence in her life. Would you be interested in being her art tutor? Maya's eyes widened. Are you serious? We have a guest house on the property. You'd have your own space, but you'd be close enough to work with Lily every day. The pay would be enough to help you restart your photography business on the side. Daddy, that's the best idea ever, Lily exclaimed, jumping up and down. Maya looked between them, tears forming in her eyes. For the first time in years, someone was offering her not just help but hope. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Lily urged. Please say yes. Maya wiped her eyes and smiled. Yes, I'd love to. As they drove home that night, Ryan glanced in the rearview mirror at Maya and Lily chatting excitedly about art projects and room decorating. He had no idea that this simple act of kindness would change all their lives forever. Moving day arrived with a mix of excitement and anxiety for Maya. As Ryan's car pulled up the long driveway to his property, her breath caught in her throat. The house was beautiful but not flashy. A warm, modern home surrounded by tall trees and carefully tended gardens. There's the guest house. Ryan pointed to a smaller building about 50 yards from the main house. It's got everything you need, kitchen, bedroom, living room, and I had them set up a studio space where you can work on your photography. Maya felt overwhelmed. Ryan, this is too much. I can't possibly— Yes, you can, Lily interrupted from the back seat. And look, I can see your house from my bedroom window. We can wave at each other. The guest house was perfect. Simple, clean, and peaceful. Ryan had stocked the refrigerator with groceries, and Lily had left a welcome card she'd made herself, complete with crayon drawings of the three of them holding hands. But that first night alone, Maya barely slept. Every sound made her jump. The settling of the house, wind in the trees, even the hum of the refrigerator set her on edge. She kept checking the locks on the doors and windows over and over. Around 3 a.m., she was pacing the living room when she saw a light come on in the main house. Through the window, she could see Ryan in what looked like his kitchen. Without thinking, she stepped outside. The cool night air felt good, but her heart was still racing. Ryan must have seen her because a few minutes later he appeared on his back porch. Can't sleep? He called softly. Maya wrapped her arms around herself. Sorry, did I wake you? No, I was already up. Lily had a bad dream. He paused. Would you like some tea? Sometimes it helps. Maya found herself nodding. They met in the middle of the yard and Ryan handed her a warm mug. Chamomile, he said. My mom always made it for me when I was scared as a kid. They sat on a garden bench in comfortable silence. Maya realized this was the first time she'd felt safe since the ordeal began. Does it get easier? She asked quietly. The fear? Yeah, it does. But it takes time. Maya looked at him curiously. You sound like you know from experience. Ryan was quiet for a long moment. I lost my wife 3 years ago. Not the same situation as yours, but violent crime leaves marks on everyone it touches. Maya felt her chest tighten. I'm sorry. Lily mentioned her mom died, but I didn't want to pry. Lisa was volunteering at a women's shelter downtown. Wrong place, wrong time. A man came looking for his ex-wife with a gun. Ryan's voice was steady, but Maya could hear the pain underneath. She was just trying to help people. That's horrible. Yeah. For a long time after, I couldn't sleep either. Every noise, every shadow. Lily would find me up at all hours, just like tonight. They sat quietly. Two people who understood what it meant to have your sense of safety shattered. How did you get through it? Maya asked. Therapy helped, but mostly focusing on Lily. She needed me to be okay, so I learned how to be okay again. Day by day, Maya nodded. She's lucky to have you. We're both lucky to have each other. The next morning, Maya's real work with Lily began. She'd expected maybe an hour of art activities each day, but Lily was endlessly creative and curious. Can we paint outside today? Lily asked during breakfast at the main house. I want to paint the flowers in Daddy's garden. That sounds perfect, Maya agreed. But first, let me show you something cool about mixing colors. They set up easels on the back patio. Maya demonstrated how blue and yellow made different shades of green depending on the proportions. Lily was fascinated. So many greens, Lily exclaimed, trying to match the exact color of the leaves on nearby trees. I never knew there were so many. Every artist sees colors differently, Maya explained. That's what makes art special. No two people would paint this garden exactly the same way. As the days passed, Maya discovered she had a real gift for teaching. Lily wasn't just learning techniques. She was learning to see the world differently. They explored different art supplies, from watercolors to clay to collage materials. Maya, look what I made, Lily would announce daily, proudly showing off her latest creation. But Maya noticed that Ryan was always nearby during their sessions. Not hovering, but available. He'd work on his laptop at the kitchen table where he could see the patio, or tend to garden tasks within earshot. One afternoon, while Lily was napping, Maya found Ryan organizing some papers in his home office. "Can I ask you something?" Maya said from the doorway. "Of course. You don't have to watch over our lessons. I'm not going anywhere and Lily's perfectly safe with me." Ryan looked up, surprised. "I'm not watching because I don't trust you. I'm watching because—" He paused, looking for the right words. "Because I can't help it. After what happened to Lisa, and then finding you in the forest. I guess I'm a little overprotective of people I care about." Maya felt her cheeks warm. "People you care about?" "You and Lily both," Ryan said simply. "You've become important to us, Maya. To me." That evening, Maya was going through some boxes of her photography equipment that Ryan had retrieved from her old apartment. Most of her gear had survived, though she'd lost some client contacts and work samples. She was examining her favorite camera lens when she found something unexpected, a folder of printed photographs she'd forgotten about. They were from a charity event she'd photographed months ago. The letterhead said Second Chances Foundation. Curious, Maya did an internet search for the foundation. Their website was simple but powerful, showing their work with survivors of violent crimes. They provided therapy funding, job training, housing assistance, and other support services. What caught Maya's attention was a quote on the main page. "Everyone deserves a second chance at happiness and safety." Something about the wording seemed familiar. She clicked through to the About Us section, but it was vague about the foundation's origins. It had been established 3 years ago by an anonymous donor committed to helping survivors rebuild their lives. 3 years ago. The same time Ryan's wife died, Maya's heart started beating faster. She remembered her hospital bills being mysteriously covered by a victim assistance program. The foundation's location was listed as Portland, Oregon. The next morning, Maya casually asked Lily about her father's work while they were finger painting. "Daddy has lots of meetings," Lily said, concentrating on her purple handprint. "But he always says his real job is taking care of people who need help." "What kind of help?" "I don't know exactly. But sometimes people come to our house who look sad, and after they talk to Daddy, they look happier." Maya felt pieces clicking together in her mind. That evening, she decided to be direct. "Ryan, I need to ask you something and I want an honest answer." They were cleaning up after dinner while Lily played in the living room. "Okay," Ryan said cautiously. "Did you pay my medical bills?" Ryan froze, a dish halfway to the cabinet. "What makes you think that?" "The Second Chances Foundation. I photographed one of their events months ago. 3 years old, anonymous donor helps crime survivors in Portland." Maya crossed her arms. "My hospital bills were covered by a mysterious victim assistance program that doesn't usually provide the level of care I received." Ryan set down the dish and leaned against the counter. "You're pretty observant for someone who's supposed to be recovering from trauma. So I'm right?" "Maya, answer me. Did you start that foundation? Are you the anonymous donor?" Ryan looked toward the living room where Lily was building something elaborate with blocks. Finally he nodded. "Yes, I started it after Lisa died. I couldn't save her, but maybe I could help other people who'd been through similar things." Maya felt tears welling up. "How many people have you helped?" "I don't keep count. Roughly. About 200 families over 3 years." Maya sat down heavily in a kitchen chair. 200 families. "Maya, I didn't help you because of the foundation. I helped you because it was the right thing to do. The foundation just made it easier to cover things quietly." "Why didn't you tell me?" Ryan sat across from her. "Because I wanted you to feel like you belonged here for who you are, not because you felt obligated for what I did. You're not here as charity, Maya. You're here because Lily adores you and because—" He paused. "Because I was hoping we could be friends." Maya wiped her eyes. "Friends? I know it's complicated. I know you're still healing. I'm not asking for anything more than friendship right now. But I wanted you to know that what we have here, it's real. It's not just me trying to fix something." Maya looked around the warm, safe kitchen where she'd started to feel at home. Through the doorway, she could see Lily playing contentedly, secure in the knowledge that the adults in her life would keep her safe. 200 families, she said again. 201, if you count yourself. Maya smiled through her tears. "I think I can live with being number 201. From the living room came Lily's voice. "Daddy." "Maya, come see what I built." "It's a house where everybody lives together and nobody is ever scared." Maya and Ryan looked at each other and smiled. Maybe Lily was onto something. 3 months had passed since Maya moved into the guest house and life had settled into a comfortable rhythm. Her art lessons with Lily had expanded into full-day creative adventures. They'd painted murals on the fence, built sculptures from found objects in the garden, and even started a small photography project documenting the changing seasons. Maya's nightmares had become less frequent, though they hadn't disappeared entirely. Some nights she still woke up in a cold sweat, checking the locks on her doors. But now, instead of pacing alone, she knew she could text Ryan if she needed to talk. Their friendship had grown deeper over late-night conversations and shared meals. Ryan was patient, never pushing for more than Maya was ready to give. He understood that healing couldn't be rushed. One rainy Thursday afternoon, while Lily was at a friend's house for a playdate, Maya found Ryan in his study looking through some old photo albums. He seemed sad, which was unusual for him. "Sorry," Maya said from the doorway. "I was looking for Lily's art supplies." "I didn't mean to interrupt. It's okay. Come in." Ryan gestured to the chair beside his desk. "I was just remembering." Maya sat down and glanced at the open album. The photo showed a beautiful woman with dark hair and a warm smile, often pictured with a much younger Lily. "That's Lisa," Maya said softly. It wasn't a question. "Yeah. Today would have been our 10th wedding anniversary." Maya looked at the pictures more closely. Lisa looked happy in every photo, the kind of person who lit up a room just by being in it. She was beautiful. She was everything good in the world. Ryan said quietly. Kind, funny, always trying to help someone. That's why she was at the shelter that night. Maya had heard bits and pieces about Lisa's death, but Ryan had never told her the full story. "You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to," Maya said. Ryan closed the album gently. "Actually, I think I do want to talk about it. I've never really told anyone the whole story. Not even my therapist." Maya settled back in her chair, giving him her full attention. Lisa volunteered at a women's shelter every Tuesday evening. Ryan began. She helped with their children's program, doing activities with kids while their mothers attended support groups. She'd been doing it for 2 years. Ryan got up and walked to the window, watching the rain fall in the garden. That Tuesday, a man named Derek Chen showed up at the shelter looking for his ex-wife. She'd left him 3 months earlier and had been staying there with their daughter. The security guard tried to stop him, but Derek had a gun. Maya felt her chest tighten. She knew this story wasn't going to end well. Lisa was in the children's room when she heard the screaming. Instead of hiding or running, she started moving the kids to a safe room in the back of the building. She saved 8 children that night. "But she didn't save herself," Maya whispered. Ryan's shoulders sagged. Derek found her helping the last 2 kids hide in a closet. He shot her because she wouldn't tell him where his ex-wife was. The thing is, his ex-wife wasn't even there that night. She'd moved to her sister's house the week before. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. "Oh, Ryan. Lisa died protecting children who weren't even hers." The police caught Derek 20 minutes later, but it was too late. "I lost the most important person in my world because she couldn't help but try to save others." Ryan turned back to Maya, his own eyes wet with tears. "For months after the funeral, I was angry at her for being so selfless. Angry that she didn't just hide. Angry that she chose to help those kids instead of coming home to Lily and me." "That's understandable," Maya said gently. "But then I started thinking about who Lisa really was. She couldn't have hidden and let those children get hurt. It would have destroyed her to live with that. Helping people wasn't just something she did. It was who she was." Ryan sat back down, looking directly at Maya. "That's when I started the foundation. I couldn't bring Lisa back, but I could honor her memory by helping other survivors. Every person the foundation helps is someone Lisa would have wanted to save." Maya understood now why Ryan had responded so immediately to finding her in the forest, why he'd been so committed to her recovery, why he'd built an entire organization around helping trauma survivors. "Is that why you helped me?" Maya asked. "Because of Lisa?" "At first, maybe. But Maya, what I feel for you now has nothing to do with Lisa or guilt or trying to fix the past." Ryan paused, choosing his words carefully. "I care about you because of who you are. Because you make Lily laugh. Because you see beauty in everything. Even after what you've been through. Because you're strong and creative and kind." Maya felt her heart racing. "Ryan, I'm not asking for anything, Maya. I know you're still healing. I know this might be too complicated, but I wanted you to know that what's happening between us, it's real. It's not about me trying to save you or replace Lisa. It's about you being you. Before Maya could respond, they heard the front door open and Lily's voice calling out, "Daddy, Maya, I'm home. Wait until you see what I painted at Kelly's house." Maya wiped her eyes quickly and Ryan composed himself. They met Lily in the kitchen, where she was proudly holding up a watercolor painting of their house. The main house, the guest house, and 3 stick figures holding hands in the garden. "It's us," Lily announced. "Kelly's mom helped me write the words at the bottom." Maya looked at the painting more closely. In childlike handwriting it said, "My family." Lily looked up at Maya with hopeful eyes. "Do you like it? I painted you as part of our family because that's what I wish would happen." Maya's breath caught. "Lily, I know you live in the guest house and I know you're not my real mom," Lily continued matter-of-factly, "but you feel like family to me. And Daddy smiles more when you're around." Maya looked at Ryan, who was watching his daughter with amazement. "Lily, that's the most beautiful painting I've ever seen," Maya said finally. "Can I keep it?" "Yes, but I want to make copies so Daddy can have one too, and maybe we can frame it and put it in both houses." That evening, after Lily was asleep, Maya and Ryan sat on the back porch watching the stars come out. The rain had stopped and the air smelled fresh and clean. "She's right, you know," Maya said quietly. "About you smiling more. I am happier," Ryan admitted. "Happier than I've been in 3 years. You brought something back to this house that I thought was gone forever." "What's that?" "Hope, joy, the feeling that good things can still happen." Maya took a deep breath. "Ryan, I need to tell you something. I've been thinking about this for weeks." "Okay, I'm falling in love with you. With both of you. With this life we've built together." Maya's voice was steady but quiet. "It terrifies me because I never thought I'd feel safe enough to love someone again. But here we are." Ryan turned to look at her fully. "Maya, I don't know what happens next. I'm still healing and you're still grieving and we both have complicated histories. But I wanted you to know." Ryan reached over and gently took her hand. "What happens next is whatever feels right for all 3 of us. No pressure, no expectations, just seeing where this goes." Maya squeezed his hand. "I like that plan." From inside the house they could hear Lily talking in her sleep. Something about painting rainbows and living happily ever after. "She's got the right idea," Maya said with a smile. "She usually does," Ryan agreed. "Kids see things more clearly than adults sometimes." As they sat together in the comfortable darkness, Maya realized that for the first time since her ordeal began, she wasn't thinking about the past or worrying about the future. She was simply present, grateful for this moment, this man, this little girl who had declared her part of their family. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and new possibilities. But tonight she was exactly where she belonged. 1 year later, Maya stood in her newly rented photography studio downtown, adjusting the lighting for her afternoon client session. The space wasn't huge, but it was hers. The walls displayed some of her favorite work: family portraits, children's art sessions, and a special collection she called Strength Stories, featuring survivors of various traumas. Her business had grown faster than she'd ever imagined. Word spread quickly about the photographer who truly understood how to capture people's authentic selves, especially those who'd been through difficult times. Maya had a gift for making her subjects feel safe and seen. "Maya." Lily burst through the studio door, followed by Ryan carrying coffee and pastries. "Daddy bought lunch from that place you like." "What are you two doing here?" Maya asked with a smile, accepting a warm hug from Lily. "Lily insisted we surprise you with lunch," Ryan said, setting the bags on Maya's desk. "She missed you. I saw you this morning before school." Maya laughed. "That was forever ago," Lily declared dramatically. "Besides, I want to see the pictures you took of the Anderson family yesterday." Maya pulled up the photos on her computer screen. The Andersons were a Second Chances Foundation family, a mother and 2 children who had fled domestic violence 6 months ago. Yesterday's session had been their first professional family photos in years. "Look how happy they look," Lily observed, studying the images. "Mrs. Anderson is smiling with her whole face. That's because she feels safe now," Maya explained. "Sometimes it takes time for happiness to reach all the way to someone's eyes." Ryan watched Maya work, amazed as always by how naturally she connected with people. Over the past year, He'd watched her transform from a traumatized survivor into a confident business owner, and the most loving person he'd ever known. Maya had moved out of the guest house 6 months ago, not because she wanted distance, but because she'd wanted to prove to herself that she could be independent again. She kept her own apartment now, but spent most evenings at Ryan's house. They'd taken their relationship slowly, building trust and intimacy at Maya's pace. "Maya," Ryan said as Lily wandered around the studio looking at photos. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. Would you take a walk with me tonight?" "Just the two of us?" "Lily's having a sleepover at her friend's house." Maya looked at him curiously. Ryan seemed nervous, which wasn't like him. "Sure, is everything okay?" "Everything's perfect. I just want to talk to you about something." That evening, they walked through the same forest where they'd first met. Ryan had chosen this spot deliberately. The trail had been turned into a memorial garden by the local community, with benches and planted flowers marking the clearing where Maya had been found. "It's strange being back here," Maya said, sitting on one of the benches. "I used to have nightmares about this place. Now it just feels like where our story started." "That's exactly how I think about it too," Ryan said, sitting beside her. "Maya, do you remember what you said to me that first night we talked about Lisa, when I told you about her death?" Maya thought back. "I think I asked if it gets easier. The fear. And I told you it does, but it takes time. Do you remember what else I said? That you learned to be okay again because Lily needed you to be okay?" Ryan nodded. "I did learn to be okay again. But Maya, with you I've learned something more. I've learned to be happy again. Really deeply happy." Maya felt her heart start to race. "Ryan, I love you, Maya. I love how you see beauty in everything. I love how you make Lily laugh until she snorts. I love how you turn our house into an art gallery with all of Lily's projects. I love that you understand what it means to be broken and still choose to build something beautiful." Ryan stood up and pulled a small box from his pocket. Maya's hands flew to her mouth. "Maya Johnson, will you marry me? Will you be Lily's mom and my wife? Will you help us build the kind of family where everyone feels safe and loved and free to be exactly who they are?" Maya was crying, but she was also laughing. "Yes, yes, of course. Yes to all of it." The ring was simple and beautiful, a solitaire diamond that caught the evening light perfectly. As Ryan slipped it onto her finger, Maya realized she'd never felt more certain about anything in her life. "There's one more thing," Ryan said after they'd kissed and cried and kissed some more. "I have an idea about our wedding, but I want to see what you think." 2 months later, Maya stood in a simple white dress in the community center that housed the Second Chances Foundation headquarters. Instead of an expensive venue, they'd chosen to celebrate here, surrounded by the people whose lives had been touched by the foundation's work. The room was full of families Ryan and Maya had helped over the past 3 years. Survivors of various traumas, their children, the therapists and social workers who supported them, and the volunteers who kept the foundation running. Lily walked down the aisle first, wearing a purple dress she'd chosen herself and carrying a bouquet of wildflowers. She took her job as maid of honor very seriously, having practiced her walk dozens of times. Maya followed, and as she looked out at the faces in the crowd, she saw her story reflected back at her over and over. People who had been lost and found their way back to hope, families who had been broken and built themselves stronger, children who had learned to laugh again. The ceremony itself was simple. They'd written their own vows. "Maya," Ryan said, "you taught me that it's possible to honor the past while still embracing the future. You showed me that love doesn't replace love, it multiplies it. I promise to continue building a world where everyone has a second chance at happiness, starting with our own family." "Ryan," Maya's voice was steady despite her tears, "you found me in the darkest moment of my life and offered me not just safety, but hope. You and Lily showed me what family really means. I promise to help you create a home where love grows stronger every day, and where we never stop helping others find their way back to the light." When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, the entire room erupted in cheers. Lily launched herself at both of them, creating their first group hug as an official family. The reception was unlike any wedding Maya had ever imagined. Instead of a traditional cake, they had desserts made by families from the Foundation's job training program. The music was provided by a survivor who'd used Foundation funds to attend music therapy school. But the most special touch was the photography. Maya had asked 3 other photographers, all survivors who'd been helped by the foundation to start their own businesses, to capture the day. Every angle of joy was documented by someone who truly understood what this celebration meant. "Mom," Lily said later that evening as they danced together, "I have a question." Maya's heart skipped at hearing Lily call her mom for the first time. "What's your question, sweetheart?" "Now that you're officially my mom, does that mean we can paint a mural on my bedroom wall?" Maya laughed. "We'll have to ask your dad about that." "Ask me about what?" Ryan joined their dance, wrapping his arms around both of them. "Lily wants to paint a mural in her room." "Only if I get to help," Ryan said. "I've always wanted to try finger painting." 6 months after the wedding, the three of them stood in the foundation's new art therapy room, watching as a group of children worked on a collaborative painting. Maya had started teaching art classes for the kids while their parents attended support groups. "Look what I painted," a 7-year-old named Alex announced, showing Maya his portion of the mural. "It's a house where everybody is safe and happy." Maya smiled, remembering Lily's similar painting from over a year ago. "It's beautiful, Alex. What's your favorite part?" "The rainbow coming out of the chimney. My mom says after scary storms, there's always a rainbow." As Maya helped Alex add more colors to his rainbow, she felt Ryan's hand squeeze her shoulder. Lily was across the room, patiently helping a younger child mix paint colors. "Happy?" Ryan asked quietly. Maya looked around the room full of healing families, then at her husband and daughter. A year and a half ago, she'd been chained to a tree in the forest, certain she was going to die. Today, she was surrounded by love and purpose, helping other families find their way back to hope. "More than I ever dreamed possible," she said. Outside, the Portland sun was setting, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks. Through the window, Maya could see families heading home after their therapy sessions, children running ahead of their parents, everyone a little lighter than when they'd arrived. Maya realized that the most shocking thing about their love story wasn't how it started, but how it grew. It wasn't just about one wealthy man saving one woman. It was about how love, when shared generously, creates ripples that touch hundreds of lives. Ryan had started the foundation to honor his first wife's memory. Maya had found healing through art and teaching. Together, they'd built something bigger than themselves, a place where broken people could become whole again, and where second chances turned into beautiful new beginnings. As they locked up the center and walked to their car, Lily skipping between them, Maya felt the deep contentment that comes from knowing you're exactly where you belong. Their family might have started with trauma and loss, but it was sustained by love, hope, and the joy of helping others find their way home.